The desert planet Vorex was always silent at night. No wind, no birds, no machines. Only the sound of dry sand sliding down old metal ruins. People living in small camps near the old battlefield called this silence the sleep of the dead. For 200 years, no machine had moved there. No human titan had opened its eyes. But that night, something changed. A sharp blue light flashed in the sky for only 1 second. It was small, almost invisible. Most people did not even notice it. But inside the body of a giant metal soldier, a titan, something woke up. A soft hum began deep inside the titan's chest. Dust fell from its armor. The yellow lights on its helmet flickered weakly, like an old lamp trying to live again. For a moment, nothing else happened. The desert went silent again. Then the titan breathed. A loud metal gasp echoed across the dead battlefield. Every scavenger in the area froze. Some dropped their tools and ran. Some hid behind broken walls. A few brave ones cried out in fear, shouting that the old human gods had risen again. Inside the titan, a man named Commander Rian Hale opened his eyes. He was floating in a cold gel chamber. His body felt heavy and weak, as if he had slept for centuries. He blinked several times, trying to understand where he was. The chamber lights were red. Warning alarms flashed in his helmet display. Pilot recovery, 12%. Memory, unstable. Rian tried to speak, but his voice was rough. Where am I? No answer came. Only the echo of his own breathing. Slowly, the chamber drained, and he felt himself falling into the Titan's pilot seat. The metal seat closed around his arms and legs, connecting to him like a living machine. The Titan responded to his heartbeat, like it remembered him. But Rian did not remember the Titan. He did not remember the last battle. He did not remember the face of his crew. He did not remember how he reached this desert planet. Outside, the ground shook as the Titan's legs moved for the first time in 2 centuries. Sand rolled down its knees as it rose from its old resting place, standing tall like a giant warrior lost in time. In a nearby camp, a group of alien soldiers, the Zirith, saw the lights rising in the distance. Their commander shouted orders. Activate the drones. A Titan has awakened. The humans are returning. Fear spread quickly among them. Titans were banned long ago. Titans were believed destroyed forever. A living Titan meant danger. A living Titan meant a truth they did not want anyone to know. But before they could act, the Titan took its first step. The ground trembled. Dust clouds exploded into the air. The desert wind changed as if even nature was afraid. Inside, Rian's head throbbed with pain as memories tried to surface. He saw flashes, burning cities, falling skies, people running, a woman calling his name. Then darkness. Everything after that was missing. A sudden voice broke the silence. Commander Rian Hale. You have awakened. Rian stiffened. The voice came from the Titan's core. Who is speaking? He asked. The voice sounded old, almost broken. I am Acheron. I am the Titan you command. I have waited for your return. Rian swallowed hard. How long have I been asleep? There was a short pause. 212 years. His heart dropped. The number did not feel real. 200 years? How? Why was I sealed? The Titan replied with sadness in its voice. Your memories were locked for your safety, and for the safety of the truth. Truth? What truth? But Acheron did not answer. Its voice glitched, as if someone had cut the connection. Outside, metal drones approached from the dark horizon. Their red eyes glowed as they scanned the Titan's body. Zirith soldiers followed, holding plasma rifles, shouting commands and warnings at each other. Rian saw them through the Titan's screens. Who are they? He asked. Zirith forces, Acheron answered weakly. They control this planet now. They will try to shut us down again. Again. Rian repeated. They shut us down? But before he could ask more, an alarm flashed. Incoming attack. The first plasma shot hit the Titan's leg. The metal armor shook, sending vibrations through Rian's bones. More shots followed. The Zereth soldiers were shouting, trying to surround him. Rian clenched his fists. The Titan reacted. He did not remember how to fight, yet his body moved like he had trained his whole life. His hands pulled invisible levers. His mind linked with the Titan's system. Energy flowed through the machine like lightning through a storm cloud. The Titan raised its arm, and a blue shield burst to life. Plasma bolts bent away, exploding into the sand. The Zereth soldiers panicked. Retreat. The Titan is active. Fall back. But their drones continued firing. Rian moved forward, slowly at first, like a giant waking from a long sleep. He punched one drone out of the sky, then crushed another under his foot. Every move felt familiar, as if this was his true body. But as he fought, a strange signal echoed through the Titan's systems. A deep, pulsing sound. A message. It repeated again and again, growing louder until it felt like it filled the entire desert. Rian grabbed the Titan's controls. What is that sound? Acheron answered in a whisper. It is the call of the Sky Core. The truth is waking, just like us. The message played clearly now. Rian, the truth is buried. Find it before they erase everything. Rian felt his chest tighten. That voice. He knew that voice. But he could not remember why. Acheron, he whispered. Who sent that message? There was silence. Then. Someone you trusted. Someone they feared. Before Rian could ask more, the Titan's sensors picked up something huge approaching from the north. Bigger than any drone, bigger than the Zereth patrols. A massive shadow moved across the desert like a rising storm. The Titan turned its head. Something ancient. Something powerful. Something built to destroy Titans. Was coming straight toward them. Rian gripped the controls, his heart racing. For the first time since waking, he felt truly alive. And truly afraid. The desert of Vorax shook again, but this time it was not because of Rian's Titan. It was something much heavier. A long shadow moved across the sand like a creeping storm. The Zereth soldiers stopped firing the moment they saw it. Even the drones froze in mid-air, scanning the massive object approaching from the north. Rian turned the Titan slowly, his giant metal footsteps echoing across the desert floor. Through Acheron's screen, he saw a huge machine rising over the dunes, taller than buildings, shaped like an armored beast. It had 4 thick legs, glowing red eyes, and weapons covering its back like spikes. Acheron whispered inside Rian's helmet. A Zereth Dread Walker, one of their oldest machines of war. Rian felt something cold inside him. That thing is hunting us. Yes, Acheron answered. They built it centuries ago to destroy Titans. It carries weapons made from stolen human designs. The Dreadwalker let out a metallic roar that shook the sand dunes around it. Its red eyes locked directly onto Rian's Titan. In a nearby Zereth control bunker, alarms rang loudly. Officers rushed between screens, shouting commands. The High Commander, a tall blue-skinned alien named Zyron, stared at the Titan's image with fear. "Why is the Titan awake?" he demanded. A nervous technician answered. We don't know, sir. There was a small energy spike in orbit. It might have activated the pilot." Zyron slammed his fist on the console. "Titans must never return. If that human discovers the truth." He stopped mid-sentence, realizing he had said too much. The other officers avoided his eyes. One of them asked quietly, "Should we send more Dreadwalkers?" Zyron shook his head. "No. One is enough. The pilot is weak after 2 centuries. He will not survive long." But deep inside the Titan, Rian's strength was returning faster than expected. The Titan's systems synced with his heartbeat. His vision sharpened. His hands steadied on the controls. The fear he felt before slowly turned into something else. determination. The Dreadwalker fired the first shot. A massive red beam cut through the air, exploding against the Titan's shield. The ground erupted, sending sand flying in every direction. Rian felt the shockwave inside his bones. Acheron's voice turned urgent. Shields at 60%. We cannot take many hits. Rian clenched his teeth. Then we won't stand still. He pushed the control levers forward. The Titan dashed to the side, surprisingly fast for such a massive machine. The Dreadwalker fired again, missing by a few meters and blasting a crater into the sand. Zirith soldiers watched from a distance, whispering in fear. No Titan should be this fast. Has the pilot regained full control already? Impossible. But it was happening. Rian felt the Titan like an extension of his own body. Every movement responded to his thoughts. Every step felt natural, like remembering an old skill. The Dreadwalker charged forward, shaking the desert with each step. Its claws smashed into the ground, trying to trap the Titan. Rian jumped back, sliding across the sand. He raised the Titan's arm, and a blue energy blade formed along its forearm. The Dreadwalker lunged. Rian swung the blade. Metal clashed with metal. Sparks flew into the night sky. The impact pushed both giants backward. The sound echoed across the desert like thunder. Rian felt the Titan strain, but he did not back down. He pushed forward again, striking the Dreadwalker's armor. A large dent appeared, but the beast was not slowing down. Acheron warned him. This machine is stronger than us. We must outthink it, not overpower it. Rian nodded. Then guide me. The Dreadwalker roared again. Panels opened on its back, revealing missile launchers heating up. Acheron shouted, "Incoming missiles!" Rian reacted instantly. He slammed the Titan's fist into the sand, activating a hidden defense mode. Blue shields burst outward in a wide circle. Missiles exploded against the shield, lighting up the desert like fireworks. The explosions pushed the Titan back, but it stayed standing. Rian took a deep breath. Acheron, where is the weak point? Acheron hesitated. The walker's power core is on its underside, between its front legs. But reaching it will be dangerous. Rian smirked slightly. Dangerous seems normal for us. He charged. The Dreadwalker fired beams, missiles, and plasma rounds. The Titan dodged left, rolled right, jumped over a collapsing dune, then slid under a barrage of red energy blasts. Zirith watchers were stunned. No human pilot should be able to move like this. He's fighting as if he never slept. This is impossible. But Rian was not running anymore. He was remembering. Each movement brought flashes of old memories. Training rooms. Titan battles. A woman smiling at him, calling his name. Who was she? He didn't know. Not yet. But he knew one thing. He had fought bigger monsters than this. Rian slid under the Dreadwalker. The giant machine tried to stomp on him, but the Titan rolled forward and stopped directly beneath its chest. Acheron, Rian whispered. Now. The Titan's arm blade glowed bright blue. He stabbed upward. The blade pierced the Dreadwalker's underside. A burst of energy exploded from the inside. The walker's red eyes flickered wildly before going dark. The giant machine collapsed, falling sideways into the sand with a massive crash. Silence returned to the desert. Zirith soldiers stared in disbelief. The Dreadwalker, their strongest desert weapon, was destroyed. Rian stood breathing heavily inside the Titan. That was close. Acheron spoke faintly. We must move, Commander. More Zirith forces will come. And you are not ready to face a second walker. Rian looked around the desert. Where do we go? Acheron answered with a strange tone in its voice. To the memory vaults. You must recover what they stole from you. Before Rian could ask more, a soft voice echoed across the Titan's speakers. Rian, don't let them find the Sky Core. The same voice from before. The one he recognized but could not name. Rian's heart froze. Acheron, he whispered. Who is that? Acheron replied. Someone still alive. Rian felt a chill run through him. Alive? After 200 years. Acheron continued. We must leave now. The truth is waiting for you beneath this planet. And the Zirith will do anything to stop you. Rian tightened his grip on the controls. He didn't know the truth yet. He didn't know why the Titan awoke. He didn't know who sent the message. But he knew this. The galaxy had buried something important, and he was the one meant to uncover it. He took the Titan's first step toward the unknown, and the entire planet felt the shift. The desert winds grew colder as Rian guided the Titan away from the broken Dreadwalker. The night sky above Vorex looked cracked, as if the stars themselves were hiding behind dust and old scars. Every step the Titan took left a deep mark on the sand, and every mark felt like a reminder that something ancient had just awakened with him. Rian tried to steady his breathing. The battle was over, but his mind was still full of noise, warning alarms, the echo of explosions, and that mysterious voice calling his name. The more he tried to remember, the more pain he felt behind his eyes, like something inside his mind was locked with heavy chains. Inside the Titan, Acheron kept scanning the desert. The machine's voice sounded older than before, almost tired, as if waking up had cost it something. Rian broke the silence. Acheron, what are the memory vaults you mentioned? Acheron paused before answering. They are human structures hidden deep under Vorex. They were built before the war. They contain the last truth of the Titan project, and your own past. Rian frowned. Why would they hide my past? Because your memories are connected to the Sky Core, Acheron said. And the Zirith destroyed anyone who knew about it. The more Rian listened, the more confusion filled him. Sky Core. A mysterious device. A voice calling his name. The Zirith terrified of a Titan waking up. Everything pointed toward a secret much bigger than a simple war. He looked at the horizon. Faint lights of Zirith ships moved far away, like insects searching the ground. They weren't attacking again, at least not yet. They were watching, waiting, maybe planning something. Why aren't they chasing us? Rian asked. Acheron answered. Because they are afraid. A living Titan means their lies are falling apart. What lies? Rian asked again, frustration rising in his voice. This time Acheron did not speak immediately. There was a strange static sound before its voice returned, weaker. You will know, when you reach the vault. Rian felt anger rise in him, but he forced himself to calm down. Acheron wasn't hiding things because it wanted to. Someone, or something, had restricted it. They walked for almost an hour across the silent desert. With every step, Rian felt stronger, more connected to the Titan. It was as if the machine was slowly feeding him memories he had forgotten. Suddenly, a faint tremor shook the ground. Rian stopped. Another dread walker? No, Acheron said softly. This is something else. The tremor came again, lighter, softer, almost like footsteps. But not giant footsteps. Something smaller. A shadow moved between the sand dunes behind them. Rian turned the Titan to face it. A small figure stepped out from behind a broken metal pillar. Not a soldier. Not an alien. A human girl, maybe 16, her face covered with dust, hair tied back, eyes sharp and full of old fear. She wore a simple desert cloak and carried a small metal lantern that flickered with weak blue light. Rian froze. A human? Here. The girl stared at the Titan with no fear, only curiosity. You woke up, she said quietly. Her voice shook slightly, but there was strength beneath it. Rian leaned forward inside the Titan. Who are you? My name is Lena, she answered. I saw the sky flash. I knew it was a sign. So I followed it. Acheron spoke inside Rian's helmet, surprised. She wears the symbol, the same mark as Dr. Mara. Rian's heart skipped a beat. Dr. Mara. Who is she? Acheron did not reply. Instead, Rian zoomed in on the girl. He saw a small metal pendant around her neck, a symbol shaped like two intersecting circles with a tiny star in the center. The same symbol from his fragmented memories. Lena stepped closer. I know what you are searching for, she said. And I know where the vault is. Rian stared at her through the Titan's glowing eyes. How? How could you know that? Lena hesitated, then spoke quietly. Because my grandmother told me. She said her mother worked with the humans during the last days. She said the Sky Core was never destroyed. Only hidden. Rian felt something shift inside his mind, like a locked door shaking under pressure. Lena continued, she said when the Titan wakes, the truth will rise again. And the Zirith will try to kill anyone who carries the symbol. She touched the pendant around her neck. Rian slowly knelt the Titan down, trying not to scare her. The massive machine lowered until its glowing face was only a few meters above the girl. Why were you waiting for a Titan? Rian asked softly. Lena looked up with eyes full of fear and hope mixed together. Because the air is dying. The sky is dying. Soon this planet will not be able to breathe us anymore. The Zirith keep telling us that humans destroyed everything, but I don't believe them. Rian felt a sharp pain in his head, another memory trying to surface. A woman screaming. A huge machine glowing. A storm of light across the sky. He clutched the Titan's controls. Lena, what do you know about the Sky Core? She stepped even closer. I know it can save this world. And I know you were the one meant to activate it. Before Rian could respond, Acheron's voice turned urgent. Commander, incoming patrol. Zirith are approaching fast. Rian stood the Titan back up. Through the night sky, he saw glowing red lights moving toward them, small but fast. Lena looked up at him. If they catch me with a Titan, they will kill me. They kill anyone who seeks the Sky Core. Rian didn't hesitate. Get inside, he said. Lena's eyes widened. Inside. The Titan? Now. Rian insisted. A compartment opened on the Titan's side, forming a small protected chamber. Lena climbed in quickly, hugging her pendant tightly. The compartment sealed shut. Acheron spoke urgently. Commander, Zirith skimmers will be here in 30 seconds. We must hide or fight. Rian's eyes hardened. We're not ready to fight. So we run. He pushed the Titan forward. The giant machine leapt across the sand just as 3 Zirith skimmers flew overhead, scanning the ground with red beams. They narrowly missed them. Rian guided the Titan into a canyon path, using the tall rock walls as cover. Lena's voice came through a small speaker in the cockpit. Where are we going? To the memory vault, Rian said. To the truth. Acheron's lights flickered as the Titan's systems pushed to full speed. Commander, the Titan whispered. When you recover your memories, everything will change. Rian stared ahead, determination rising inside him. Good, he said. Because I'm tired of running from a past I cannot remember. The Titan ran deeper into the canyon, carrying both the human girl and the forgotten warrior toward a truth the Zirith had hidden for centuries. Far above them, the sky flashed again, only for a moment. As if something far away was watching their every step. The canyon stretched long and narrow, its tall stone walls glowing faintly under the moonlight. Rian pushed the Titan deeper inside, moving fast but careful, avoiding loose rocks and steep edges. The air was colder here, and the silence heavier, as if the canyon itself remembered old battles. Inside the Titan, Rian could hear Lena's soft breathing through the small speaker. She was quiet, but he sensed fear in the way she held her breath every time the Titan stepped over a crack. For someone so young, she was carrying a burden older than herself. Acheron scanned the surroundings. Zirith skimmers have lost our trail for now. But they will search again. Rian exhaled. Then the vault better be close. Lena's voice finally came through, soft but steady. I can guide you. My grandmother told me the entrance is hidden in the canyon caves. Rian slowed the Titan. Hidden how? Behind symbols, she said. Old human symbols. The Zirith don't understand them, so they never found the door. Rian felt a small spark of hope. For the first time since he woke up, he was not wandering blindly. Someone knew more than him. Someone young, but not lost. They moved deeper until the canyon walls tightened into a narrow passage. The Titan barely fit, scraping stone on both sides. The metal echoed inside the canyon, loud but strangely comforting. After another few minutes, Lena whispered, "Stop. Look to your left." Rian turned the Titan's head slowly. At first he saw nothing but a dark rock wall. But when he adjusted the night vision feed, faint lines appeared, circles, stars, and shapes carved into the stone. The same symbol Lena wore around her neck. His heart tightened. He didn't remember the symbol, but his chest reacted like it knew. Lena spoke with quiet certainty. That's the mark of the first Titan scientists. Rian knelt the Titan for a closer look. How do we open it? Lena hesitated. With a phrase. My grandmother taught it to me. Rian felt something shifting deep in his memory, like a forgotten melody trying to return. What phrase? He asked gently. She cleared her throat, nervous but determined. Then she spoke in soft, slow words. Stars heal what shadows break. The canyon rumbled. A deep vibration ran through the rocks. Dust fell from the ceiling. The symbol on the wall glowed bright blue, lines of light spreading across the stone like veins waking up. Rian stepped back as the rock wall split down the center. Stone slabs slid aside, revealing a giant metal door beneath. A human-made door. Acheron sounded almost relieved. The memory vault entrance, intact after centuries. Lena gasped. I never saw it open before. The metal door slid upward, revealing a dark tunnel stretching down into the earth. Blue lights flickered on one by one, leading into the depth like a path calling them forward. Rian moved the Titan inside slowly, cautious of traps or old systems that might trigger after so long. The air inside was cooler, dry, untouched by the desert outside. Lena spoke again, her voice echoing in the chamber. My grandmother said humans built this place before the Zirith arrived. She said it was for something important, something hidden. Rian's grip tightened on the controls. Something they didn't want the Zirith to find. Acheron confirmed. These vaults hold recordings, maps, and memories. The truth of what happened during the Sky Core project. But what exactly is the Sky Core? Rian asked again, frustration building. Why does it matter so much? Before Acheron could answer, Lena whispered, I think it can save the planet. Rian stopped walking. She continued quietly, my grandmother said the Sky Core could fix the sky, heal the air, bring back rain, make Vorex alive again. Rian felt a deep ache in his chest. Memories flashed, fields, forests, wind, a world alive with color. Then fire, darkness, war. A machine that heals worlds, he whispered. Did humans really build that? Lena nodded firmly. Yes. But the Zirith told everyone it was a weapon. So people turned against the humans. Rian clenched his teeth. He didn't remember the politics, but he felt anger rising. Something in him knew this wasn't just a war, it was a lie rewritten into history. Acheron lowered its voice. The Sky Core was humanity's greatest hope. It was not created to destroy. It was created to save. The Titan continued deeper into the vault until they reached a massive circular chamber. Screens covered the walls. Giant pillars held old power cells. And in the center stood a strange machine, like a giant black crystal surrounded by metal rings. Without being told, Rian knew what it was. A memory core. Acheron whispered. Commander, this will restore what was taken from you. Rian stepped the Titan forward. A platform rose from the floor, glowing blue. The Titan systems locked onto it automatically. Lena held her breath. What's happening? Something I should have done the moment I woke up, Rian said. He placed the Titan's hand on the glowing platform. A beam of light shot upward, connecting the Titan to the memory core. The chamber filled with deep humming, vibrating the ground. Screens flickered to life, showing glimpses, small pieces, of the past. Rian screamed as pain shot through his skull. Images poured into his mind. A woman in a white lab coat smiling at him, Dr. Mara. The sky core glowing with bright blue light. A city dying under toxic clouds. Humans working desperately to save it. Zereth soldiers breaking into the facility. Explosions. Chaos. Dr. Mara shouting something. Rian, get to the Titan. Protect the sky core. They must never take it. The memory shattered into darkness. Rian collapsed forward inside the Titan, gasping, gripping his head. Lena shouted from inside her compartment. Rian, are you okay? Acheron's voice came through, trembling with static. Memory restored, 70%. Rian opened his eyes, sweat dripping down his face. I remember her. Dr. Mara. She told me to protect the core. She told me the Zereth would twist everything. Lena looked shocked. So she was real, not just a story. Rian stood the Titan up slowly. His heartbeat was calm now, but his eyes burned with purpose. She was real, he said. And the sky core was not a weapon. It was a cure. But before he could say more, the floor vibrated violently. A deep alarm blared across the vault. Acheron shouted, Commander! Zereth forces detected above us. They found the canyon. Lena's voice cracked with fear. They'll trap us in here. Rian turned toward the tunnel entrance. He saw dust falling, rocks shaking, the ceiling beginning to crack. And above that, the unmistakable thunder of another dread walker walking directly over them. Rian tightened his grip on the controls. They're going to bury us alive, he said. Acheron's lights flashed red. Commander, prepare for conflict. This time, you cannot run. Rian faced the trembling ceiling, ready. Because this time, he wasn't just fighting to survive. He was fighting to protect the truth. The night on the Titan base felt heavier than any night before. Even the artificial lights seemed dim, like they were afraid of what waited outside. Eric stood on the command deck, watching the hologram of the broken sky. The cracks in the atmosphere were widening, glowing like deep wounds that refused to heal. Each crack pulsed with the same energy that had struck Lena during the experiment. He tried to focus on the data, but the fear in his chest kept growing. Behind him, Commander Rhea paced back and forth. Her jaw was tight, her eyes sharp, but she kept glancing toward the medical wing. Everyone knew she was pretending to be strong for the team. Lena's condition was still uncertain, and it was hurting her more than she wanted to admit. The doors slid open and Dr. Hale entered, holding a small tablet. His face looked older than it had in the morning. Eric turned quickly, desperate for news, but the doctor raised a hand. We still don't know what's happening to her, he said quietly. The energy inside her keeps increasing. It's almost like it's calling to something. Calling. Rhea repeated. Calling what? Hale hesitated before speaking. Something in the sky. A cold silence fell over the room. Nobody had an answer. Nobody wanted one. Minutes later, alarms echoed through the base. A deep mechanical warning pulsed like a heartbeat. Eric rushed to the central console and the screen filled with red symbols. Another crack. Bigger than before, he shouted. It's opening right above the valley. Rhea didn't wait. Gear up. Titans to launch positions. The team moved fast, but Eric paused for a moment, staring at the hologram. Inside the glowing crack, something moved. Something huge. Something that looked alive. He felt his pulse jump. It's not a storm. It's a door. The hangar roared to life as the massive Titan suits powered up. Each step of the machines shook the ground. The pilots climbed into their cockpits, attaching the neural cables that connected their minds to the machines. Eric stepped into his Titan, Falcon 3, feeling the familiar energy rush through him. But tonight, the feeling was different, heavier. "Titan's ready," he said through the comm. Ria's voice came through, strong and steady. "We hold the sky, no matter what comes through." The bay doors opened, and cold winds swept inside. The sky outside was a deep red, burning like a dying sun. The crack above the valley stretched wider, and for a moment, the world seemed to stop breathing. Then something fell through. It wasn't a creature. Not exactly. It was a massive shape, like a titan of energy and shadow, with no clear form. It twisted and changed every second, like smoke made of light. It crashed into the valley floor, shaking the mountains. A blast of air forced the titans to brace themselves. "Contact!" Eric yelled. It's huge." The creature lifted its shifting head, if it even had a head. Its outline glowed with the same strange color that surrounded Lena. Ria's Titan stepped forward, raising its energy shield. "Do not attack until we know what it wants," she ordered. But the creature didn't wait. A beam of energy shot out from its form, slicing through the clouds and leaving a path of fire behind. The force wave hit the titans, sending dust and rocks flying. Eric gritted his teeth. "That thing will tear the planet apart if we just stand here." "We have to hold it back," Ria replied. "Non-lethal force only. We still don't know what Lena is connected to." The titans moved in formation, energy shields glowing as they charged forward. The ground shook under their weight. Eric's Titan reached the creature first and released a shock blast that pushed it back several meters. But instead of falling, the creature shifted, changed shape, and wrapped itself in a glowing shell. Then it spoke. Not with a voice, but through vibration, through the sky itself. A low hum echoed across the valley, and the clouds above responded, turning into a swirling spiral. Eric felt the sound inside his bones, like someone was knocking from the inside of his mind. "Eric!" A faint voice whispered. His heart froze. He knew that voice. "Lena." The creature stepped forward, the cracks on its body glowing brighter. The hum increased. The wind screamed. Ria tried to speak, but her voice was drowned out. Inside the base, alarms went off again. Dr. Hale stared in horror as Lena's body lifted off the medical bed. Energy wrapped around her like wings made of light. "She's resonating with it," Hale yelled. "They're connected." The entire base watched as Lena floated into the air, her eyes glowing with the same color as the creature outside. The roof shutters snapped open automatically, responding to the energy. Lena drifted upward, toward the sky, toward the creature. Eric saw her from a distance. His breath caught in his throat. "Lena? Lena, stop." But she wasn't controlling herself. The creature saw her, or sensed her, and let out a deep vibration that shook the air. The crack above the valley began to widen again, tearing open like a wound. Ria shouted, "Eric! Get to her before the connection becomes permanent." Eric pushed his Titan to full power, boosters firing like stars under his feet. He launched into the sky, reaching toward Lena as fast as possible. The light around her was blinding, but he did not stop. He reached out the Titan's mechanical arm, and the moment he touched her, the world exploded in white. For a brief second, everything became silent. The ground, the sky, even the wind. Eric felt weightless, floating somewhere between reality and a dream. He saw Lena standing in front of him, not glowing, not unconscious, but awake. Her eyes soft, her expression calm. "Eric," she whispered. "I know what they want." The light faded slowly, and the real world returned. Eric gasped inside his cockpit, breathing rapidly. The valley was quiet again, but the creature was still there, waiting, watching. The crack above them pulsed like a beating heart. Eric looked at Lena, floating beside him, glowing but conscious. "What do they want?" he asked. Lena took a slow breath. "They want us to choose." Her words left the valley colder than any storm. And far above them, the crack began to open even wider. The crack in the sky kept spreading like a glowing wound, stretching farther than any storm Eric had ever seen. It pulsed with a slow rhythm, almost like a heartbeat, and every pulse sent waves of trembling air across the valley. The giant creature of shifting energy still stood below it, waiting without moving, its light reflecting on the metal bodies of the titans. Lena floated gently in the air beside Eric's titan, her body surrounded by a soft glow. Her eyes were calm, but the fear hiding behind them was clear. Ria's voice came through the calm, shaky but trying to stay strong. "Lena, what do you mean they want us to choose?" Lena looked up at the crack. "They're not attacking us. They're testing us. The energy is not meant to destroy. It's asking a question. A question about who we are, and what we are willing to become." Eric didn't understand. A question? This thing almost tore the planet apart. Lena turned toward him, her face serious. "Because they don't trust humanity yet. They've been watching us for a long time, Eric. And now, they want proof." Ria's titan stepped closer. "Proof of what?" Lena closed her eyes as if listening to a distant voice only she could hear. "Proof that humans possess something worth saving." The valley went silent. Even the winds seemed to pause. Ria spoke again, more quietly. "And what happens if we fail this test?" Lena pointed to the widening crack above. "Then the energy will collapse inward and tear everything apart. Not just the sky. The entire planet." Eric felt his chest tighten. "So, how do we pass?" Lena opened her eyes. "We must show unity, selflessness, trust. Something they believe humans lost a long time ago." Before anyone could answer, the creature below let out another low vibration. The sound rolled across the mountains, making the titans tremble. The crack flashed brightly, sending bursts of energy down the valley. The world felt like it was holding its breath. Eric spoke into the calm, steadying his voice. "Commander, what do we do?" Ria exhaled slowly. "We stand together. And we follow Lena's lead. She's the only one who can understand this thing." The creature reacted immediately. It shifted shape, growing taller, its glow intensifying. The ground fractured beneath its feet. Ria's titan raised its shield. "Everyone hold the line," she ordered. But Lena shook her head. "No, don't fight. Fighting will make it worse." The creature released a beam of energy that shot straight toward the titans. Instinctively, Eric raised his shield, but Lena flew in front of it, absorbing the energy with her glowing hands. The beam softened, then dissolved into sparks around her. Eric gasped. "Lena, that could have killed you." She turned back to him with a faint smile. "This is part of the test." The energy around Lena grew brighter, almost too bright to look at. She drifted closer to the creature. The titans moved cautiously, unsure whether to follow or stay back. Lena stopped a few steps away from the creature's towering form. She lifted her hand, trembling slightly. "I'm not here to attack. I'm here to answer." The creature lowered itself until its shifting face came level with hers. Its glow dimmed, as if listening. Lena took a deep breath. "Humanity is not perfect. We make mistakes. We hurt each other. We lose ourselves. But we also protect. We heal. We learn. And we love. We still fight for what matters, even when the sky is falling apart." The crack flashed brightly above, reacting to her words. The creature's energy rippled like a wave across its body. "And if you want proof," Lena whispered, "then take me. Test me. But leave them." Eric's chest froze. "Lena, no. Don't do this." Ria's voice cracked over the calm. "Lena, stop. There has to be another way." But the creature extended a tendril of glowing energy, wrapping gently around Lena. It lifted her upward toward the crack, her body becoming brighter, almost transparent. Eric pushed his titan forward, shouting, "Lena! I'm not letting them take you." The creature released a sharp pulse that threw the titans back several meters. Eric struggled to regain balance, but the shock had damaged part of his stabilizer. Sparks flickered across his dashboard. "No!" he yelled. "Bring her back." Lena looked down at him, her expression soft, almost peaceful. "Eric, this is the only way. If they see that we can sacrifice for others, they will understand what humans truly are." He shook his head violently. "I need you. We all do." She smiled sadly. "You'll be fine. You always find a way." The creature lifted her higher. She rose toward the crack, glowing brighter with every inch. The light around her formed wings of energy. She looked almost like part of the sky now. Eric couldn't move. His hands were trembling on the controls. His voice broke. "Lena, please." The crack erupted in a massive flash, white, blue, gold, so bright the entire world seemed to disappear for a moment. The creature shifted its form one last time and dissolved into pure light, merging with the crack. And then, silence. The sky slowly healed. The cracks folded inward, sealing like a wound finally closing. The light faded, replaced by calm clouds and a soft wind. The titans stood frozen. No one spoke. Lena was gone. Rhea lowered her titan's head. Dr. Hale stepped out of the base, staring upward with tears shimmering in his eyes. Eric dropped to one knee inside Falcon 3, feeling empty, as if something had been ripped out of him. Hours passed. The sun finally rose. The world was saved. But the valley felt colder than ever. Eric climbed out of his titan, falling to his knees on the dusty ground. He stared at the sky where Lena had disappeared. The others stood behind him, silent. Then, a soft glow appeared. At first, he thought it was a reflection. But it grew brighter, hovering above the valley. The light twisted gently, like a small ribbon floating in the air. And then, a familiar voice whispered, faint but real. "Eric." His breath caught. The light descended slowly, collecting into a small shape, a figure, a silhouette. A girl. Lena. She landed softly on the ground, the glow fading from around her. She looked tired, but alive. Her eyes met Eric's, shining with relief and warmth. "They gave me back," she said gently. "They said, humanity passed." Eric didn't think. He ran to her, pulling her into his arms. She held onto him just as tightly. The sky was whole again. And so were they. The titans gathered around them, silent, watching the sun rise over a peaceful world, finally safe, finally quiet. Humanity had been tested. And they had chosen right. The world slowly returned to normal, but life on Titan Base would never be the same again. The sky was clear now, soft blue and calm, without a single scar left behind. It looked almost unreal after weeks of chaos. Soldiers moved quietly through the base, repairing damaged structures and replacing shattered panels. Everything felt peaceful, but also strange, like everyone was learning how to breathe again. Eric stayed close to Lena almost every moment. He walked with her through the base halls, making sure she didn't feel overwhelmed. Lena still glowed faintly sometimes, tiny sparks dancing around her fingertips when she was tired or emotional. Dr. Hale insisted it would fade soon, that her body simply needed time to adjust. But Eric wasn't worried about the glow, he was just grateful she was alive. Others in the base felt the same. Every time Lena entered a room, people stopped what they were doing just to smile at her. Some nodded with respect. Some looked at her with wonder. Some looked away, still afraid of what they didn't understand. But no one questioned that she had saved them. She had saved all humanity. Even Rhea, who was usually hard and cold like steel, had softened a bit. She walked up to Lena one morning on the observation deck, where Lena watched the sunrise with quiet eyes. You did something no Titan pilot could ever do, Rhea said in a low voice. You negotiated with the unknown. You kept us alive. Lena smiled gently. I just did what anyone would do. Rhea shook her head. No. Not anyone. Only you. Lena didn't know what to say. She turned back to the sunrise, her thoughts somewhere far above the clouds. Later that day, the Council of Nations sent a message to Titan Base. They wanted a report about the event, what happened, why it happened, and whether it could happen again. Rhea invited Lena, Eric, Dr. Hale, and 2 Titan pilots to the command room to give the official briefing. The screens displayed rows of council members, all wearing serious expressions. Some looked tired, others curious, and a few clearly frightened. Rhea began the briefing. We were faced with a cosmic intelligence. We don't know where it came from or why it chose us. But it tested humanity, and Lena Reyes was the one who answered. Lena shifted uncomfortably as every council member turned to her. One of them spoke. Miss Reyes, do you believe this entity will return? Lena hesitated. No. Not as an enemy. What do you mean? Another asked. She took a slow breath. They were not here to destroy. They wanted to know if humanity still had something worth saving. They wanted to know if we had compassion, unity, sacrifice. She glanced at Eric briefly before continuing. And we proved it. The council members murmured to each other. Another voice spoke, more sternly. And if humanity fails such a test in the future? Lena looked directly into the screen. Her voice was calm. Then humanity will not get another chance. We must keep proving we are better than our flaws. The room fell silent. Rhea ended the briefing soon after, but the discussion stayed in everyone's mind. That night, Eric found Lena sitting alone in the valley outside the base. The place looked different now. Peaceful, alive, almost sacred. Moonlight washed over the rocks, and the wind carried the soft sound of distant insects. He walked over quietly. Can't sleep. Lena smiled without turning. You already know I can't. Eric sat beside her. Thinking about them? Yes, she whispered. About what they showed me. About what they expected. It's strange, Eric. When the creature pulled me into the crack, I didn't feel fear. I felt understanding. Like they were letting me see humanity from far above, like a picture too big for us to see from here. Eric watched her face in the moonlight. And what did you see? Lena turned to him, her eyes shimmering. I saw pain, mistakes, anger, darkness. But I also saw hope, courage, love. I saw that humans never stop fighting for something better, even when we're falling apart. Eric smiled softly. That sounds like you. Lena laughed quietly. Maybe. A gentle glow appeared around her fingertips again. She looked at them, confused but not frightened. Do you think this will ever go away? She asked. Maybe, Eric said. Or maybe it's part of you now. She sighed. What if it makes me different? Eric reached out and gently held her glowing hand. Then I'll stay with you until different feels normal. Lena looked at him with soft, steady eyes. For the first time since everything happened, she didn't look uncertain or afraid. She leaned lightly against his shoulder and rested there. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The valley was silent except for the whisper of the wind. Suddenly, a familiar voice called out from the darkness. We knew we'd find you two here. Rhea stepped forward with Dr. Hale behind her. Both looked unusually relaxed. Hale adjusted his glasses and said, We just received the energy readings again. The sky cracks are sealed completely. There's no sign of the entity returning. Rhea added, Humanity is safe. For now. Eric nodded. Good. Lena asked softly, What happens next? Rhea crossed her arms. Now. We rebuild. We learn. We prepare. And we honor what happened here. Dr. Hale smiled at Lena. And we make sure you stay healthy. You're still our hero, after all. Lena chuckled shyly. I don't feel like a hero. You don't have to, Eric said. You just have to be you. They all walked back toward the base together. The night felt lighter, filled with something new. Hope, maybe, or the calm after surviving something unimaginable. The next day, Titan Base held a ceremony. Soldiers lined up, the Titans standing proudly behind them like silent guardians. Flags fluttered in the wind. Rhea spoke to the entire base and the world watching through broadcasts. Humanity was tested, she said. And we stood together. Not because of strength alone. Not because of machines or weapons. But because of the choices we made. Choices led by courage, and by one young woman who showed us what humanity means. Everyone turned to Lena. She blushed and looked down, but Eric nudged her lightly, making her lift her head. The base erupted into applause. At the back of the crowd, Eric whispered, "Told you. Hero." Lena smiled without arguing. That night, as the stars filled the sky, a faint shimmer appeared far above the clouds, like a distant wave of light, gentle and peaceful. Lena noticed it first, and her eyes widened. Eric followed her gaze. Is that them? Lena nodded slowly. Maybe just a goodbye. Or maybe a reminder. A reminder that humanity was not alone. A reminder that the sky, once shattered, now watched over them like a guardian. And somewhere far beyond the stars, ancient beings who once doubted humanity now knew the truth. Humans were worth saving. And worth believing in.